But anyway, so last time we saw that the narration ended where Mother Parvati has cursed Chitraketu Maharaj to become a demon on the earthly planet because he apparently ended up criticizing Lord Shiva, although he didn't intend to or he didn't mean to, but the words came out like that because of a sort of comfort level that he had assumed between him and Lord Shiva, although Lord Shiva was a much senior and a very exalted Vaishnava. So, but anyway, and now we'll see if these two chapters are more of like a background as to how Chitraketu was born and everything, like, and what was the situation when he was born and things like that. So, yeah, with that we can start. Let me share my screen. Okay, so this is chapter 7. So we'll do it like the way we do always. Um, we will read. So this chapter has 40 verses. The next chapter has another 42 verses. So we have almost 82 verses. So we can do 15 verses each devotee. So 15 fours are 60, 15 fives are, yeah. We'll need 5 devotees. So yeah, if anyone wants to begin, they could. I'll begin. Whatever.
I can start, Prabhu.
Sure, sure.
Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Sukadev Goswami, O great sage, why did the spiritual master of the demigods, Brihaspati, reject the demigods who were his own disciples? What offense did the demigods commit against their spiritual master? Please describe to me this incident. Sukadev Goswami said, O king, once upon a time, the king of heaven, Indra, being extremely proud because of his great opulence of the three worlds, transgressed the law of Vedic etiquette. Seated on his throne, he was surrounded by the Maruts, Vasus, Rudras, Adityas, Rubus, Vishwadevas, Sadhyas, Ashwini Kumaras, Siddhas, Sharanas, and the Gandharvas, and by great saintly persons. Also surrounding him were the Vidyadharas, Apsaras, Kinnaras, Patagas, and Uragas. All of them were offering Indras their respects and services. And the Apsaras and Gandharvas were dancing and singing with very sweet musical instruments. Over Indra's head was a white umbrella as effulgent as a full moon, fanned by yak tail whisks and served with all the paraphernalia of a great king. Indra was sitting with his wife, Sachi Devi, who occupied half the throne, when the great sage Brihaspati appeared in that assembly. Brihaspati, the best of the sages, was the spiritual master of Indra and the demigods. Uh, Brihaspati, the best of the sages, was the spiritual master of Indra and the demigods, and was respected by the demigods and demons alike. Nevertheless, although Indra saw his spiritual master before him, he did not rise from his own seat or offer a seat to his spiritual master, nor did Indra offer him a respectful welcome. Indra did nothing to show him respect. Brihaspati knew everything that would happen in the future. Seeing Indra's transgression of etiquette, he completely understood that Indra was puffed up by his own material opulence. Although able to curse Indra, he did not do so. Instead, he left the assembly and in silence returned to his home. Indra, the king of heaven, could immediately understand his mistake. Realizing he had disrespected his spiritual master, he condemned himself in the presence of all the members of the assembly. Alas, what a regrettable deed I have committed because of my lack of intelligence and my pride in my material opulences. I failed to show respect to my spiritual master when he entered this assembly, and thus I have insulted him. Although I am the king of the demigods, who is situated in the mode of goodness, I am proud of a little opulence. Can you scroll down?
Sorry.
Although I am the king of the demigods, who is situated in the mode of goodness, I am proud of a little opulence and polluted by false ego. Under the circumstances, who in this world would accept such riches at the risk of falling down? Alas, I condemn my wealth and opulence. If a person says, one who is situated on the exalted throne of a king should not stand up to show respect to another king or a Brahmana, it is to be understood that he does not know the superior religious principles. Leaders who have fallen into ignorance and who mislead people by directing them to the path of destruction, as described in the previous verse, are in fact boarding a stone boat, and so too are those who blindly follow them. A stone boat would be unable to float and would sink in the water with its passengers. Similarly, those who mislead people to go to hell and their followers go with them. King Indra said, therefore, with great frankness and without duplicity, I shall now bow my head at the lotus feet of Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods. Because he is in the mode of goodness, he is fully aware of all knowledge and is the best of Brahmanas. Now I shall touch his lotus feet and offer my obeisances unto him to try to satisfy him.
Thank you, Prabhu. Nupur, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Roshi. Hare Krishna, everyone. While Indra, the king of the demigods, thought in this way and repented in his own assembly, Brihaspati, the most powerful spiritual master, understood his mind. Thus he became invisible to Indra and left home, for Brihaspati was spiritually more powerful than King Indra. Although Indra searched vigorously with the assistance of the other demigods, he could not find Brihaspati. Then Indra thought, alas, my spiritual master has become dissatisfied with me, and now I have no means of achieving good fortune. Although Indra was surrounded by demigods, he could not find peace of mind. Hearing of this pitiable condition of King Indra, the demons, following the instructions of their guru, Shukracharya, equipped themselves with weapons and declared war against the demigods. Prabhuji, can you please scroll up?
This is good.
Yes, thank you so much. The demigods' heads, thighs, and arms, and the other parts of their bodies were injured by the sharp arrows of the demons. The demigods, headed by Indra, saw no other course than to immediately approach Lord Brahma with both heads for shelter and proper instruction. When the most powerful Lord Brahma saw the demigods coming towards him, their bodies gravely injured by the arrows of the demons, he pacified them by great causeless mercy and spoke as follows. Lord Brahma said, O best of the demigods, unfortunately, because of madness resulting from your material opulence, you failed to receive Brihaspati properly when he came to your assembly. Because he is aware of the Supreme Brahman and fully in control of his senses, he is the best of the Brahmanas. Therefore, it is very astonishing that you have acted impudently toward him. Thank you, Ruji. Because of your misbehavior toward Brihaspati, you have been defeated by the demons, my dear demigods. Since the demons were weak, having been defeated by you several times, how else could you, who were so advanced in opulence, be defeated by them? O Indra, your enemies, the demons, were extremely weak because of their disrespect towards Shukracharya. But since they have now worshipped Shukracharya with great devotion, they have again become they have again become powerful. By their devotion to Shukracharya, they have increased their strength so much that now they are even able to easily seize my abode from me. Because of their firm determination to follow the instruction of Shukracharya, his disciples, the demons, are now unconcerned about the demigods. In fact, kings or others who have determined faith in the mercy of Brahmanas, cows, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, and who always worship these three are always strong in their position. O demigods, I instruct you to approach Vishwarupa, the son of Twasta, and accept him as your guru. He is a pure and a very powerful Brahmana undergoing austerity and penances. Pleased by your worship, he will fulfill your desires provided that being inclined to side of the you tolerate his being inclined to side with the demons. Srila Shukadev Goswami continued, thus advised by Lord Brahma and relieved of their anxiety, all the demigods went to the sage Vishwarupa, the son of Twasta, my dear king. They embraced him and spoke as follows. The demigod said, beloved Vishwarupa, may there be all good fortune for you. We, the demigods, have come to your ashram as your guest. Please try to fulfill our desires according to the time, since we are on the level of your parents. O Brahmana, the highest duty of a son, even though he has sons of his own, is to serve his parents. And what to speak of a son who is a brahmachari? The Acharya, the spiritual master who teaches all the Vedic knowledge and gives initiation by offering the sacred thread, is the personification of all the Vedas. Similarly, a father personifies Lord Brahma, a brother, King Indra, a mother, the planet Earth, a sister, Mercy, a guest personifies religious principles, an invited guest personifies the demigod Agni, and all the living entities personify Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Krishnan Prabhu, you can do the remaining 10 of this and 5 from the next one.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Dear son, we have been defeated by our enemies, and therefore we are very much aggrieved. Please mercifully fulfill our desires by relieving our distress through the strength of your austerities. Please fulfill our prayers. Since you are completely aware of the Supreme Brahman, you are a perfect Brahmana, and therefore you are the spiritual master of all orders of life. We accept you as our spiritual master and director, so that by the power of your austerity, we may easily defeat the enemies who have conquered us. The demigods continued, do not fear criticism for being younger than us. Such etiquette does not apply in the regard to Vedic mantras. Except in relationship to Vedic mantras, seniority is determined by age. But one may offer respectful obeisances even to a younger person who is advanced in chanting Vedic mantras. Therefore, although you are junior in relationship to us, you may become our priest without hesitation. Sukadev Goswami continued, when all the demigods requested the great Vishwarupa to be their priest, Vishwarupa, who was advanced in austerities, was very pleased. He replied to them as follows. Sri Vishwarupa said, O demigods, although the acceptance of priesthood is decried as causing the loss of previously acquired Brahminical power, how can someone like me refuse to accept your personal request? You are all exalted commanders of the entire universe. I am your disciple and must take many lessons from you. Therefore, I cannot refuse you. I must agree for my own benefit. O exalted governors of various planets, the true Brahmana, who has no material possessions, maintains himself by the profession of accepting silonchana. In other words, he picks up grains left in the field on the ground in the wholesale marketplace. By this means, household Brahmanas, who actually abide by the principles of austerity and penance, maintain themselves and their families and perform all necessary pious activities. A Brahmana who desires to achieve happiness by gaining wealth through professional priesthood must certainly have a very low mind. How shall I accept such priesthood? All of you are my superiors. Therefore, although accepting priesthood is sometimes reproachable, I cannot refuse even a small request from you. I agree to be a priest. I shall fulfill your request by dedicating my life and possessions. Sri Sukadev Goswami continued, O king, after making this promise to the demigods, the exalted Vishwarupa, surrounded by the demigods, performed the necessary priestly activities with great enthusiasm and attention. The opulence of the demons, who are generally known as the enemies of the demigods, was protected by the talents and tactics of Shukracharya. But Vishwarupa, who was most powerful, composed a protective prayer known as the Narayana Kavacha. By this intelligent mantra, he took away the opulence of the demons and gave it to Mahendra, the king of heaven. Vishwarupa, who was most liberal, spoke to King Indra, Saraksha, the secret hem that protected Indra and conquered the military power of the demons. Did you say five? Five, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. King Parikshit inquired from Sukadev Goswami, "My lord, kindly explain the Vishnu mantra armor that protected King Indra and enabled him to conquer his enemies, along with their carriers, and enjoy the opulence of the three worlds. Please explain to me the Narayana armor by which King Indra achieved success in battle, conquering the enemies who were endeavoring to kill him." Sri Sukadev Goswami said, King Indra, the leader of the demigods, inquired about the armor known as Narayana Kavacha from Vishwarupa, who was engaged by the demigods as their priest. Please hear Vishwarupa's reply with great attention. Can I read the next one, Prabhu?
Yeah, you can do the whole thing till 6. Yeah.
4 and 6, okay. Vishwarupa said, if some form of fear arrives, one should first wash their hands and legs clean and then perform achamana by chanting this mantra. Om apavitra pavitro va sarvavastam gatopi va yasmare pundari kaksham sabhagya abhyantara suchihi Sri Vishnu Vishnu Suchi Sri Vishnu 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 Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu. Then one should touch pusha grass and sit gravely and silently facing north. When completely purified, one should touch the mantra composed of 8 syllables to the 8 parts of his body and touch the mantra composed of the 12 syllables to his hands. Thus, in the following manner, he should bind himself with the Narayana coat of armor. First, while chanting the mantra composed of 8 syllables, Om Namo Narayanaya, beginning with the pranava, the syllable Om, one should touch his hands to the 8 parts of the body, starting with the 2 feet and progressing systematically to the knees, thighs, abdomen, heart, chest, mouth, and head. Then one should chant the mantra in reverse, beginning from the last syllable, Ya, while touching the parts of the body in the reverse order. These 2 processes are known as Utpati Nyasa and Samhara Nyasa respectively.
Vishal Prabhu, you can actually do till this 10 to 12. You can do till 25.
Okay, Prabhu. 7, right. Then one should chant the mantra composed of 12 syllables, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Preceding each mantra by the Omkara, one should place the syllables of the mantra on the tips of his fingers, beginning with the index finger of the right hand and concluding. What was that? Beginning with the index finger of the right hand and concluding with the index finger of the left. The 4 remaining syllables should be placed on the joints of the thumbs. One must then chant the mantra of 6 syllables, Om Vishnave Namaha. One should place the syllables Om on his heart, the syllable V on the top of his head, the syllable Sa between his eyebrows, the syllable Na on his tuft of his hair, Shekha, and the syllable Ve between his eyes. The chanter of the mantra should then place the syllable Na on all the joints of his body and meditate on the syllable Ma as being a weapon. He should thus become the perfect personification of the mantra. Thereafter, adding Visarga to the final syllable Ma, he should chant the mantra Ma Astraya Bhat in all directions, beginning from the east. In this way, all directions will be bound by the protective armor of the mantra. After finishing this chanting, one should think himself qualitatively one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is full in 6 opulences and is worthy to be meditated upon. then one should chant the following protective prayer to Lord Narayana, the Narayana Kavacha. The Supreme Lord, who sits on the back of the bird Garuda, touching him with his lotus feet, holds 8 weapons: the conch shell, disc, shield, sword, club, arrows, bow, and ropes. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead protect me at all times with his 8 arms. He is all powerful because he possesses the 8 mystical powers. May the Lord, who assumed the body of a great fish, protect me in the water from the fierce animals that are they're associates of the demigod Varuna. By expanding his illusory energy, the Lord assumed the form of the dwarf Vamana. May Vamana protect me on the land. Since the gigantic form of the Lord, Vishwarupa, conquers the 3 worlds, may he protect me in the sky. May Lord Narasimhadev, who appeared as the enemy of Hiranyakashipu, protect me in all directions. His loud laughing vibrated in all directions and caused the pregnant wives of the Asuras to have miscarriages. May that Lord be kind enough to protect me in difficult places like the forest and battlefront. The supreme indestructible Lord is ascertained through the performance of ritualistic sacrifices and is therefore known as Yagneshwara. In his incarnation as Lord Boar, he raised the planet Earth from the water at the bottom of the universe and kept it on his pointed tusks. May that Lord protect me from the rogues on the street. May Parshurama protect me on the top of mountains, and may the elder brother of Bharata, Lord Ramachandra, along with his brother Lakshmana, protect me in foreign countries. May Lord Narayana protect me from unnecessarily following false religious systems and falling from my duties due to madness. May the Lord, in his appearance as Nara, protect me from unnecessary pride. May Lord Dattatreya, the master of all mystical power, protect me from falling while performing Bhakti Yoga. And may Lord Kapila, the master of all good qualities, protect me from the material bondage of fruitive activities. May Sanat Kumara protect me from lusty desires. As I begin some auspicious activity, may Lord Hayagriva protect me from being an offender by neglecting to offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord. May Devarshi Narada protect me from committing offenses in worshipping the deity, and may Lord Kurma, the tortoise, protect me from falling to the unlimited hellish planets. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his incarnation as Dhanvantari, relieve me from undesirable eatables and protect me from physical illness. May Lord Rishabhadeva, who conquered his inner and outer senses, protect me from fear produced by the duality of heat and cold. May Yagya protect me from the defamation and harm from the populace, and may Lord Balarama, as Sesha, protect me from envious serpents. May the personality of Godhead, in his incarnation as Vyasadeva, protect me from all kinds of ignorance resulting from the absence of Vedic knowledge. May Lord Buddhadev protect me from activities opposed to Vedic principles and from laziness that causes one to madly forget the Vedic principles of knowledge and ritualistic action. May Kalki Deva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared as an incarnation to protect religious principles, protect me from the dirt of the age of Kali. May Lord Keshava protect me with his club in the first portion of the day, and may Govinda, who is always engaged in playing his flute, protect me in the second portion of the day. May Lord Narayana, who is equipped with all potencies, protect me in the third part of the day, and may Lord Vishnu, who carries a disc to kill his enemies, protect me in the fourth part of the day. May Lord Madhusudana, who carries a bow, very fearful for the demons, protect me during the fifth part of the day. In the evening, may Lord Madhava, appearing as Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar, protect me, and in the beginning of night, may Lord Rishikesha protect me. At the dead of the night, in the second and third parts of the night, may Lord Padmanabha alone protect me. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who bears the Srivatsa on his chest, protect me after midnight until the sky becomes pinkish. May Lord Janardana, who carries his sword in his hand, protect me at the end of night during the last 4 Ghatikas of night. May Lord Damodara protect me in the early morning, and may Lord Vishveshwara protect me during the junctions of day and night. Set into motion by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and wandering in all 4 directions, the disk of the Supreme Lord has sharp edges as destructive as the fire of devastation at the end of the millennium. As a blazing fire burns dry grass to ashes with the assistance of the breeze, may that Sudarshana Chakra burn our enemies to ashes. O club in the hands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you produce sparks of fire as powerful as thunderbolts, and you are extremely dear to the Lord. I am also his servant. Therefore, kindly help me pound to pieces the evil living beings known as Kushmandas, Vai, Vainayakas,
Vainayaka.
Yakshas, Vainayaka, Yakshas, Rakshasas, Bhutas, and Grahas. Please pulverize them. O best of conscience, O Panchajanya, in the hands of the Lord, you are always filled with the breath of Lord Krishna. Therefore, you create a fearful sound vibration that causes trembling in the hearts of enemies, like the Rakshasas, Brahmata ghost, Pretas, Matas, Pishakas, and Brahmana ghost with fearful eyes.
Thank you, Prabhu. That was a very long section, but thank you so much.
Yeah.
Reading beautifully. Yeah. I'll complete then, I guess. O King of sharp-edged swords, you are engaged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please cut the soldiers of my enemies to pieces. Please cut them to pieces. O shield marked with 100 brilliant moon-like circles, please cover the eyes of the sinful enemies. Pluck out their sinful eyes. May the glorification of the transcendental name, form, qualities, and paraphernalia of the Supreme Personality of Godhead protect us from the influence of bad planets, meteors, envious human beings, serpents, scorpions, and animals like tigers and wolves. May it protect us from ghosts and material elements like water, earth, fire, and air. And may it also protect us from lightning and our past sins. We are always afraid of these hindrances to our auspicious life. Therefore, may they all be completely destroyed by the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Lord Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, is the most worshipable Lord, for he is as powerful as the Supreme Lord himself. He is the personified Vedas and is worshipped by selected verses. May he protect us from all dangerous conditions. And may Lord Vishwaksena, the personality of Godhead, also protect us from all dangers by his holy names. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead's holy names, his transcendental forms, his carriers, and all the weapons decorating him as personal associates protect our intelligence, senses, mind, and the life air from all dangers. The subtle and gross cosmic manifestation is material, but nevertheless it is non different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he is ultimately the cause of all causes. Cause and effect are factually one because the cause is present in the effect. Therefore, the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, can destroy all our dangers by any of his potent parts. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the living entities, the material energy, the spiritual energy, and the entire creation are all individual substances. In the ultimate analysis, however, together they constitute the Supreme One, the Personality of Godhead. Therefore, those who are advanced in spiritual knowledge see unity in diversity. For such advanced persons, the Lord's bodily decorations, his name, his fame, his attributes and forms, and the weapons in his hand are manifestations of the strength of his potency. According to their elevated spiritual understanding, the omniscient Lord, who manifests various forms, is present everywhere. May he always protect us everywhere from all calamities. Prahlad Maharaj loudly chanted the holy name of Lord Narsimhadev. May Lord Narsimhadev, roaring for his devotee Prahlad Maharaj, protect us from all fears of dangers created by stalwart leaders in all directions through poison, weapons, fire, water, air, and so on. May the Lord cover their influence by his own transcendental influence. May Narasimhadev protect us in all directions and in all corners, above, below, within, and without. Vishwarupa continued, O Indra, this mystic armor related to Lord Narayan has been described by me to you. By putting on this protective covering, you will certainly be able to conquer the leaders of the demons. If one employs this armor, whomever he sees with his eyes or touches with his feet is immediately freed from all the above mentioned dangers. This prayer, Narayan Kavach, constitutes subtle knowledge transcendently connected with Narayan. One who employs this prayer is never disturbed or put in danger by the government, by plunderers, by evil demons, or by any type of disease. O King of Heaven, a Brahmana named Kaushika formerly used this armor when he purposely gave up his body in the desert by mystic power. Surrounded by many beautiful women, Chitraratha, the king of Gandharva Loka, was once passing in his airplane over the Brahmana's body at the spot where the Brahmana had died. Suddenly, Chitraratha was forced to fall from the sky head first with his airplane. Struck with wonder, he was ordered by the great sages named Valikhilias to throw the Brahmana's bones in the nearby river Saraswati. He had to do this and bathe in the river before returning to his own abode. Sri Shukadev Goswami continued, My dear Parikshit, one who employs this armor or hears about it with faith and veneration when afraid because of any conditions in the material world is immediately freed from all dangers. Sorry. And is worshipped by all living entities. King Indra, who performed 100 sacrifices, received this prayer of protection from Vishwarupa. After conquering the demons, he enjoyed all the opulences of the three worlds. So we'll just do short prayers because it's already 9:25 almost. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणम्. So thank you, dear, all those who read and all those who patiently heard this section. It was very long. And it was more of a description of the Narayan Kavach in this chapter. And the previous chapter was, of course, it described the offense that Indra did towards his spiritual master Brihaspati by not offering him respects when Brihaspati entered his sabha that time. So this as I mentioned in the text earlier, two important themes come out here. One is offense to Guru and Vaishnavas, and the second is Vaishnava etiquette. So it is said that the first offense, anyone knows what's the first offense against the holy name? The very first offense. Many devotees chant these 10 offenses every day.
Blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives.
Yes.
Holy
Yes.
names. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So this Vaishnava aparadh is such a great offense that it immediately takes away all our spiritual prowess. And one verse that Prabhupada quoted twice in this chapter, and one phrase that Prabhupada quoted twice in this chapter. So, do you know which verse he would have quoted? Probably everyone knows that verse here. It's about the mercy of the spiritual master. Another clue, we sing it every morning.
Yasya prasada bhagavat prasado.
Yes, exactly. So yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya aprasadan nagati kutopi. So by the mercy of the spiritual master in our spiritual lives, we get, because if the mercy of the spiritual master is there, then we get the mercy of the Lord. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. And then yasya aprasadat, if the mercy of the spiritual master is not there, then nagati kutopi. There is no momentum to our spiritual life. Our spiritual life comes to a standstill. And so this is the verse that Prabhupada quoted twice. And he quoted a phrase twice. And that phrase is tough to guess, but I'll say that phrase is familiarity breeds contempt. So actually, Prabhupada quoted that phrase twice. So the thing is, when it comes to offense to the spiritual master, we all understand that no, we should be very careful, right? Because nowadays the spiritual master is so inaccessible in a way, and interaction with the spiritual master is so rare these days, like the Diksha Guru especially, that it's easy to kind of have that veneration. It's easy to have that respect, and because there is not much familiarity, right? It's very rare. Interaction is very rare. But so that's with Diksha Guru. But then this does apply. This is a lesson for, in terms of Shiksha Gurus and other Vaishnavas as well, who are there with us. So it's not only something that offense to Guru is definitely bad. Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. But even offense to Vaishnavas is a very great hindrance to spiritual life. Mahaprabhu called it as the mad elephant offense, hati mata aparad, right? Just like a mad elephant. When an elephant goes mad, he just destroys everything, rips apart trees and throws them away and things like that. So actually, when we were in San Diego, uh, we went to San Diego during the last week of December, and there we went to the zoo. So we took a tour in the zoo safari there, and then the tour guide was telling us things. And then I asked her, she showed us giraffes, she showed us hippos, she showed us rhinos, and we saw a nice cheetah up front. So then I asked her, where are the elephants? Take us to the elephants. She said, no, the elephants are actually kept kind of away in a different enclosure from these other animals. Then I asked why. Then she said, because the elephants are so strong that they just rip apart trees and other things just for fun. And these trees and all, they happen to be the food for these other animals like giraffes and everything. So the elephants are so strong that they just rip apart and throw things away. So that is why they have their own habitat, and these other animals sort of share a habitat. So it was very interesting to note that this elephant, Mahaprabhu used a very apt analogy, metaphor to denote this offense to Vaishnavas. So yeah, I mean, the offense to Vaishnavas is something that we have to really guard against when there is familiarity, and because familiarity can lead to us doing something that might hurt someone or hurt Vaishnavas, but that is not a good thing. And there are so many examples within the Shastras, within our Gaudiya Parampara, where even unknown offenses to Vaishnavas, they actually hindered the spiritual experience. Like there was this example of Goswami, I think Rupa Goswami. He was experiencing this some funny pastime. He was actually transported in his meditation into Goloka Vrindavan, and there he was witnessing a funny pastime between Radha and Krishna. I don't remember the exact pastime. If anyone remembers, they can narrate that. But witnessing that pastime, he laughed because it was a funny pastime. He laughed, and there was a Vaishnava who happened to pass by from there. He saw Rupa Goswami laugh. Now Rupa Goswami didn't laugh at him, but Rupa Goswami was in that trance and he laughed because of that, what was happening in Goloka. But because he laughed, this Vaishnava felt that he laughed at him, and that he felt a little bad about it. And then suddenly, because of that, Rupa Goswami's meditation became obstructed. And then he, after a lot of effort, asking around and things like that, he understood that this Vaishnava was offended. This Vaishnava felt bad because Rupa Goswami had laughed. Then he went and begged forgiveness. So yeah, it's a great this thing. And we, of course, Amrish Maharaj example is often quoted when it comes to offense against Vaishnavas. What happens when somebody offends a great Vaishnava? How sorry, who is that? Durvasa Muni had to flee everywhere because he offended Amrish Maharaj. And that's actually a very beautiful section. We should cover it sometime. But that really goes to show how much Vaishnavas are important to the Lord, and how he doesn't allow offenses towards them. So yeah, there was one other point I wanted to say. Yes, Narottam Das Thakur says in his prayer, "E baro karuna koro." He says, if you offend the Lord, you can counteract that offense by the holy name. But if you offend a devotee, there is no way to counteract that offense, apart from, of course, begging forgiveness to the devotee. So yeah, that is the theme of offending Vaishnavas, the Guru, and things like that. So yeah, now I'll open it up for discussion if anybody has any thoughts on this topic. Yes, Megha Mataji.
Prabhu, I missed it. What was the first offense you said?
So there are 10 offenses against chanting of the holy names. So and the first one among them is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy names of the Lord. So that is the first offense. So essentially, every devotee in some way or the other has dedicated themselves in propagating the holy names of the Lord. So the understanding is that we should not blaspheme or criticize anyone unnecessarily. So that is in fact, Mahaprabhu said, if you want perfection in Kali Yuga, you don't have to do any complex ritual, nothing. Just do two things, he said. What are those two things? Chant the holy names offenselessly and don't criticize others. Actually, both are related. Offenseless chanting and criticizing others are sort of related. But yeah, chant the holy names and don't criticize anyone, Mahaprabhu said. Very difficult to do, very, very difficult to do. So, yeah, that's what it is. So,
Thank you.
yeah. Yes, Karan Prabhu.
So, Prabhuji, I had a question.
Yes.
What is the line between offense and questioning? I mean, if a devotee is doing some action or behavior, and you're how do you make sure you're questioning? When does it cross into offense?
That's a very good question. I mean, it depends on case to case basis. One thing that we used to be taught when I used to live with devotees is that we should never judge anybody, right? We should never judge anybody, even if we see somebody doing certain things or saying certain things. It's okay to question, but then if the things are like really serious, then we should just go to their superiors and question them, in the sense that not even in a judgmental way, but just that, okay, this is the event I saw, this is the incident I saw. We can't label them. We shouldn't label them saying that, oh, why is this person not doing, why is this person, for example, taking it not so seriously, or why is this person being so arrogant, or why is this devotee proud, for example, right? So when we attach that qualitative adjective of proud or insincere, that is a problem. So one thing is, we should try not to judge. If we see something or we perceive something that doesn't fit well in our framework, then we should definitely we could question them also. We could question them, and but that also has to be done in a very proper way, in the sense that should not sound challenging. We can sound you know we can probe in, we can try to understand the concept better. So there are two things, right? Two parts to your question. What happens when somebody doesn't behave the way they're expected to? That is one part. The second part is questioning someone superior. Somebody is speaking, for example, Guru Maharaj is speaking, and we don't understand the concept, or something doesn't really sit well with us. Then how do we question them. So that is again, we have to question them tactfully, in a way that we have to, first of all, we have to be sure that we don't have that challenging spirit inside us. We have to be within the consciousness that I really want to understand this person, what this person is saying, rather than I want to defeat this person. So yeah, actually, Rasanand Prabhu said something really interesting in one of his talks in Brooklyn Temple. When somebody says, Prabhu, out of curiosity, I want to ask this, So he says, oftentimes when somebody says, out of curiosity, I want to ask this, that is not actually out of curiosity, that is out of a challenging spirit. Right? So yeah, just something humorous he had shared that time. But yeah,
Okay.
anyone else wants to answer that question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I want to expand on that question, which is just sometimes when you see a devotee's actions, some thoughts come into our mind, and we don't have control over our thoughts
Yeah.
sometimes. And I've heard in one of the brahmachari's talks that in Kali Yuga, having a thought is not a problem, but that is forgiven. Is that true, Prabhu? And is that supported in Shastra? Have you heard it?
Yes, yes. So in the previous yugas, having a thought also can give you karmic reaction. But in Kali Yuga, only the action will give you the karmic reaction. The thought won't. But there is a caveat. In Kali Yuga, our minds are so fickle that we never know when that thought translates into action. That is the caveat with Kali Yuga. We are so weak in the sense that, yeah, it's tough. But yes, that is true. That is shastrically supported, that in Kali Yuga, thoughts don't have reactions. Only actions have reactions. But in the previous yugas, even thoughts had reactions.
Got it. And and sometimes the thoughts do, sometimes the thoughts do come, and what His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu has once, in one of his talks, he suggests that to give a pause, so that we don't jump into a judgment.
Yes.
To pause and think before we
True.
yeah, or even observe our thoughts before we continue thinking.
Definitely. And the one thing is, when somebody acts in some way they do, and we look at it, like we witness that, and we may not know the other background, right? We may not know in depth as to what's going on in that devotee's life, how much that devotee is sacrificing. For example, I had heard this incident long ago. In I think Pune ashram, there was a devotee, a brahmachari, who would always, whenever Mahaprasad would come, he would like frantically run and go and eat all of it. And sometimes he would even break the lock of the cupboard where Mahaprasadam would be kept and eat it, right? He would always do that, and because of that, other devotees were getting very less of it, or sometimes getting no Mahaprasadam. And then this devotee continued for a long time, and then devotees got really disturbed. Why is this devotee behaving like this? Why is this devotee behaving sort of in a selfish way, that he wants all the Mahaprasadam? And then Radhesham Prabhu sat with this devotee and he asked, what happened, Prabhu? Why are you behaving like this? Why are you just consuming all the Mahaprasadam on your own? And then what this devotee told really, in a way, shocked Prabhuji, and also other devotees who heard it later. So this devotee said that he used to be a very avid meat eater before he became, connected to devotees. And after he became connected to devotees, his, that attachment to eating meat was so strong before getting into Krishna consciousness, that he really had the desire to control it, but then he really had to battle that desire. And he thought that in order to battle that desire, you know, I need mercy. And he thought that the mercy will come from the Mahaprasadam. And that was the reason why he was so eager and he was so, frantically looking for Mahaprasadam. So then that actually then softened everybody's hearts. So sometimes we may not know what's going on internally, how much sacrifice somebody is doing internally. And in fact, I'd heard this that so many fall downs happened in the movement, right? So one way to look at the fall downs is that, hey, this person was a fallen person, didn't follow the instructions of Prabhupada, was insincere, and that's why they fell down, right? But Radhanath Maharaj had once said that, you know, uh, definitely not condoning what they did, but he had said that when there is a fight, there is a battle going on, there is a war going on, who gets injured are the frontliners. Those who fight on the front, they are the ones who get very badly injured, sometimes fatally wounded, right? So similarly, this whole Krishna consciousness movement is a battle against Maya, is a huge war against Maya. And the frontliners who are here fighting, the preachers, sometimes they get injured, sometimes they get spiritually injured, sometimes they get so badly injured that they might get spiritually fatally wounded also. So we should look at it that way. They have done so much service, right? Although they transgressed certain etiquettes that should not have been transgressed, there we can choose how to look at it, right? Of course, this doesn't mean we condone such people, we support them, but at least for our own purification, we should look at their positive aspect, the service that they did. So it's a tough thing to do. Even I fail to do it sometimes. Not sometimes, oftentimes I fail to do it. But then, by talking to other devotees, I'm reminded that, look, this is not the right thought process. Or, sometimes the circumstances happen in such a way that, I sort of get that kick in the head that, no, this is not how you should be looking at it. So, yeah. Anyone else has any thoughts on this?
Actually, Maharaj is, there are many stories of Maharaj. There is one of the stories that I don't know where I've heard this, but about one of his god brothers who had, quote unquote, left the movement. And later he was, Maharaj heard that he was in Goa.
Yes.
He sent somebody to get him there, get him to the temple. And this devotee, I've heard that he left his body chanting the holy name.
Yeah, that's Hayagriva Prabhu.
Yes.
Hayagriva Prabhu.
Yeah.
So he had, Prabhupada had instructed him to take sannyas, but he had never done that. So his last dying wish was that he should be given sannyas. So Maharaj actually arranged for it. And yeah, that's true. I'd heard this another incident in Prabhupada's life. Prabhupada had a god brother who would criticize him left and right. Criticize Prabhupada, all his approaches, and he would criticize him a lot, like really a lot. And devotees were all disturbed as to why this person would do it like that. But then at one point, this Prabhupada's god brother, he passed away. And then devotees came to Prabhupada and asked Prabhupada, so what will happen to this god brother of yours? He used to criticize you so much, and they were expecting Prabhupada to say that, yeah, he will go to hell, or Krishna will punish him, or things like that. But Prabhupada didn't say any of it. Prabhupada said he will go back to Godhead. And everybody was shocked, Prabhupada, but how come he will go back to Godhead? He blasphemed you so much during his life. He said, that is fine, but he did great service to my spiritual master. So Prabhupada saw that positive aspect in him, although the criticisms were directed towards him. So it's a very great lesson. It's very tough at the level of Prabhupada. If somebody is leveling accusations against him, it's very difficult. It requires a lot of purity and a lot of humility to look at these situations in the way Prabhupada did. Yeah. Yep. Any other thoughts, any other reflections on this particular aspect of offense?
Yeah, Prabhu. So I just want to share my thoughts on this. It might be a little controversial, but
Mhm.
also discussed this a lot with Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, and he feels that our movement focuses too much on not committing offense, be good, not don't commit offense, don't commit offense. And because of that, many devotees have been taken advantage of. And it is kind of, I think even here in this group, two devotees have actually told me, and I think it's okay to mention the names because we are all one family. Krishnan Prabhu had told me long back, I don't know if you remember Krishnan Prabhu, that, devotees, they speak very nicely with other devotees, but then with the karmis, they can be very offensive. But with devotees, they're very, very careful, very, very cautious. So is that right? Will Krishna be okay with that? And I think Megha Mataji also told me once that when she was in, I don't know which temple, Megha, I think in California somewhere. Also, you also noticed this, right? That devotees are told not to make offense, not, and because of that, every word that you speak, you have to think 3-4 times. Oh, am I committing an offense? Committing an offense. So there was this one person who you went to a temple, and this is a true story, by the way. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu told me. Went to a temple, and then everything that he was doing, somebody would come and say, "Hey, you're committing an offense, committing an offense." So the person stopped coming to temple only. He said that these people, whenever I go, they keep telling me that I'm committing some offense, so I'm not even going to go. So these are things that we have to be very careful of, and in that, just that offense mentality, many devotees have gone away from Krishna, and many devotees have been abused, many devotees have been, taken advantage of. So I'm just being very honest here.
Yeah.
So that has also happened. And to give example from scriptures, in fact, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu is writing a book right now on the Ramayana, which will be released when he comes here in March. And in that, he's written a whole chapter on this, how, like, even Mother Sita, right? She didn't want to commit an offense towards the sage, Ravana, who was disguised as a sage. And because she didn't want to commit an offense towards the sage, she stepped over the Lakshman Rekha and she crossed it. So again, the same concept actually, because I don't want to commit offense, I don't want to commit offense. In that mode, you actually are hurting yourself and hurting others. So the key is, yes, of course, we should be very careful, we should be very cautious, we should not commit offense. But in that, please don't lose your own intelligence. So I liked Sundari Saki Mataji's question here. Yes, we should question. We should question. We should be shrewd. That's the word that Chaitanya Charan Prabhu uses in the article. Otherwise, we'll be taken over by this, oh, offense, you're committing offense, you're committing offense. I hope, I know I'm coming a little strong here, but this is after seeing so many instances and examples within our movement.
No, I'm glad you brought it up, Prabhu. I was hoping somebody would bring that up in the sense that too much offense, offense-based mentality distances us from exchanges, loving exchanges, and pushes us away from Krishna. Definitely, that extreme is not good. Yeah, that's a very important point. And yeah, I mean, I also know a number of incidents that I had heard where, just this offensive mentality, fear of offensive mentality is, I mean, it's, we always talk about fear, desire, duty, and love, right? I'm just reflecting, if we fear too much, that I'll commit an offense, then actually we are not practicing bhakti with the foundation of love. We are practicing bhakti with the foundation of fear. So, which is definitely not good. And yeah, I agree with that. And it has to be, it doesn't have to take over our mind so much that we are pushed away. So in fact, all these devotees, in one sense, like if I'm being so cautious with someone, or I'm telling a person, you know, you will commit an offense by doing this, you will commit offense by doing that, you will commit offense. And if this person goes away from Krishna, then actually I'm committing an offense towards Krishna, uh, by externally being non-offending. I'm actually ending up committing an offense against Krishna, because I'm pushing a soul away from this person, from Krishna, sorry, pushing this soul away from Krishna. So definitely, yeah, but it's a very thin line, don't you think? That how do we, again the question comes, how do we draw the line, right? Because this the other extreme is also there. If we become too, you know, uncautious, we if we end up becoming too callous, then that is also not good. Correct.
Yes,
So how do we?
that's why I said we have to be cautious. We have to be cautious. And if you see, even within our movement, the two most important people who have contributed the most, in one sense, in my opinion at least, Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Gaurang Prabhu, for example,
Hmm.
they don't always think, oh, am I committing? Or they rip you apart. Actually, if you make a mistake in front of them, right? They don't
Hmm.
think I'm committing Vaishnava Aparadha. I don't know if you all know how strong Gaurang Prabhu can be and how strong Tamal Krishna Maharaj was actually. And they actually took our movement. They are, even now, Gaurang Prabhu is the one who's like taking our movement forward in many, many ways. Like everybody recognizes him. And so if he was very careful, oh, I should not commit offense, oh, this person, then nothing would have, no projects would have happened actually. So same with Tamal Krishna Maharaj also. So again, I'm reiterating my point, but the other extreme, we have to be, of course, they're correcting, they're doing these things with not with a bad intention. So it comes down to our intention again. If you want to show that I am better, or I want to hurt that person, and then we commit offense, then of course Krishna sees that. But otherwise, you can just be yourself as long as you don't intentionally commit offense. It's, yeah, it's a very thin line, as you rightly said, Prabhu. So just wanted to. If anybody else feels that what I said is incorrect or something, please feel free to open it. You won't be committing any offense towards me.
No, I think what you have said is right on. It's very, very correct. People, obviously, both devotees and non-devotees are come in all different shapes, and they all have different uh, mindsets or mentalities, and there could be like I'm just thinking aloud of the devotee who was saying, you're committing an offense, you're committing, kept saying you're committing an offense. There's a high likelihood that that person intended to be a bully, and somehow that person is using Krishna conscious you know um, language
Hmm.
to extend their bullying nature, which obviously is not correct. And then, so I think we have to be in the guard for this, as as always, we are the best advocates for ourselves
Yep.
in any point of time. In senior Vaishnavas are senior Vaishnavas, and we should respect them. And but we also have to hold ourselves up in high esteem. Our own self-respect up in high esteem. It doesn't have to be offensive to anybody, but at least in our mind, we should know that.
So for me personally, I'll share my own personal thing. My own personal thing is that if I become too much of myself, if I let myself flow, you know, I fear that I might push someone away, or I might, you know, do something that, you know, that will hurt somebody. And yeah, that fear I have. I I don't know if it's right or not, but um, see, at the end of the day, if I have to just shut myself up and continue doing my seva, and if that keeps everyone happy, then why not? Is my thinking, right? Why not? So, but if I speak up, if I say something, what if it hurts somebody? What if it, uh, shakes their faith, so to say, right? And yeah, that is the fear I have. So in just being myself, I'm just being very candid here with all of you. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Prabhu. Unless you have invested in that relationship, you cannot withdraw, by committing an offense, just for the sake of committing an offense. You have to invest in a relationship, and then of course you can withdraw and it won't affect the relationship. So yeah, it depends on a person's nature, and there's so many factors involved here. So just to make a blanket statement that, hey, it's a mad elephant disease, don't commit offense, is sometimes overemphasized in our movement, actually, which I feel that it should be a little bit, a balanced answer should be given. So
For
people
sure.
get scared too much about this. Oh, I'm committing a mad elephant disease, elephant offense, and everything that I've done so far will be taken away. I should be very, very careful. Then what is happening is you're suppressing inside, and then at some point it will come out in a very strong way, either towards karmis or your juniors or someone like that, or even your spouses, for example. So all these things are also offenses, actually, the real offenses, which Krishna, as a super soul in their hearts, will observe, and he will, it's not just a show. In the temple we don't commit offense, but you know, I I hope I'm making myself clear.
No, this applies everywhere. It applies in the workplace. It applies everywhere. Uh, we can't be someone else in the workplace and go left and right. You're a karmi. You will be rotting in the material world for God knows how many lifetimes. That if we have that mentality towards our colleagues, then that is definitely not healthy. And
Kamesha Prabhu wants to say something, and I want to hear Nitya also say on this, because she can correct me if I'm speaking this wrong.
Yeah, that's a good point, Prabhu. Actually, we are thinking that with the devotees, we have to be careful, to be very, very careful, and also karmis and non-devotees, we can be very rough and all. Actually, all living beings, like they're also everybody is Krishna's children only, but they are mischievous. So we should be very careful. We should not feel that okay, non-devotees I can be. He's not a devotee or he's a karmi. I can be as harsh as possible, no problem. So that is there. That will be more mistake. Krishna will be displeased by doing so. That's my thought. Like maybe we have to be careful not only with devotees, with non-devotees also as a devotee. So since we are practicing, we have to be very careful with non-devotees and karmis also. That is the point I want to bring out.
very valuable.
Yeah, very nice discussion points. I'm glad that we are talking about these things openly, in this forum, which is a very safe uh, environment. As with anything, the tone is important also. So, we can always question something, but the tone in which we ask is, if it comes out as offensive, then it's probably will be taken like that as for the recipient who is receiving it. We can always be compassionate and also ask a question from where it is coming from. If it is coming from an aggression or a compassionate source, then that would be it would be taken like that. So for example, if it's coming from a place of aggression, like I can't take this anymore, I'm just going to ask this question, then it'll come from an aggression point place, and it'll be seen as an offense, but or also taken as an offense by the recipient. But if it's coming from the place of compassion or kindness, as to help others see things, I'm not talking about big things that happens in the things in our moment, like um child abuse or whatever the case may be, but I'm talking about maybe those things me personally may not have the right to ask, or maybe not be in the position to ask. But there are certain things that we see in our maybe things that are getting wasted. Let's say, maybe the flowers are getting wasted, or food prasadam is getting wasted. Maybe we can raise a question from the place of compassion. The tone is also important, I feel. So that it's not only it's okay to question, but also it will not be taken as an offense, even if it is was questioned. If we do it in the proper way, I feel that. But I agree that a lot of emphasis has been placed on this offense, and it's coming. Pretty much we are acting on the place of fear, like Jagannath Gopal Prabhu said, not in the fear of love, but in the sorry, not in the not from the source of love perspective that we are acting out, but we are acting from the source of fear, with this mad elephant disease. So yeah, I feel like some emphasis has to be. It's like the environment should be safe enough for people to question. I think that's what the Ishtagoshtis have, formed. The feedback, the survey, all that happens for a reason. I think we should be all, giving that feedback in all the communities that we are involved in, in a very honest and a compassionate way. That's what I feel.
Thank you so much. I'll add one more thing. I heard this in a Shabad in in the Guru Granth Sahib. So Guru Nanak Ji says, if you have tilak and if you have dhoti, but if you have anger in your heart, then all you are is you're just an actor. So he has very harsh words for this. So I think love is the right way to approach it on all sides. Even when we are questioning, I don't think we should question with anger. We should just question with love.
Amazing. Yeah, let me just read out from the chat. We are already 5 minutes out, but yeah, this is an important topic. We'll not move to the next Vaishnava etiquette topic. We'll just properly finish this one. Yeah. Vishal Prakash Prabhu says, just like when someone says no offense, but they always mean offense. Yeah, that's very pertinent. Vallabh Chaitanya Prabhu says, also the friendship won't be deep. Just external compared to material friends, which gets deeper when we are same inside out. Yes, absolutely, Prabhu. Very valuable. Thank you. And Prabhuji asks a question here. Is it right to understand that we should be careful with seniors and juniors more and can be more candid or open with peers, as the tone, nature, environment, etc. are all similar to some extent compared to the other two? But the challenge is what if no peers are there, then friendships are cultivated outside of devotee circles. Very, very important question. Very valuable question. I really think we should spend some time on this question. If yeah, is it okay if we spend some like 5 minutes on this, discussing this?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
It's a very important question. So yeah, you make a very valuable point, Prabhuji, that with peers, you can be a little more candid. Yes, in fact, I've heard that we should have some peers with whom we regularly associate, who can, kind of give us feedback directly, because seniors might think from a place of compassion and juniors will think from a place of respect. But peers will be like, in one sense, fearless. They can give us feedback. And this I have experienced also. My peers, they will tell me directly, you're thinking wrong, Prabhu. That's not the way you should be thinking. So, or they will question me a lot, or I will question them a lot, has happened so many times. Yes, that is very true. With peers, we can be a little more open. But again, peers also, as Prabhuji mentioned, that that relationship has to be there. uh, years and years together, you associated with a peer, then that frequency is there. So definitely that's there. And if no peers are there, then friendships are cultivated outside of devotees. So yeah, this is a very tricky one. I really don't know how to address this. Anyone has any thoughts on that?
I'll share my thought, Prabhu. I think Vaishnavas, that's why are so critical and so rare, that wherever you see a Vaishnava, you have to latch on to them. So if you find some Vaishnava of your own age or your own, just latch on to them. It doesn't matter where they live. It doesn't matter where they are. Just go out of your way and latch on to them, because they'll be so critical for you to give you feedback. Because friends you can make, but Vaishnava friends will be really the cherry on the cake. So you need them, and even there, for them to be able to give you feedback. You remember, have you seen this talk by Brené Brown on TED? You have to be vulnerable.
Hmm.
You have to show your flaws a little. Obviously, you have to be careful. Only after trust is formed, only after you share your flaws will the relationship blossom.
Hmm.
Because otherwise the relationship will be, even among people of the same age, the relationship will be of respect. But only after, people feel like they can open up to each other will they become friends, true friends.
Yep. Amazing, Prabhu. Yeah, we have to be vulnerable. And yeah, I guess that vulnerability also doesn't come immediately. It comes with time. It comes with, you know, this thing. Yeah, there has to be like a give and take, and slowly the relationship deepens, and definitely, yeah.
I also feel like the term fear is kind of is very interesting because so far in my Casey years, I can never say that that a person is my peer. I don't know. I just feel like um there are clearly seniors, there are clearly juniors, but the peer is always I can never see that you know that I can see anybody as my peer. Like who's really a peer? I don't know. I There is always some characteristic that is more than that we find in them. I don't know. I just feel like I could never find a peer for me. Maybe age groups, or I don't know what what it means to be a peer. But yeah, it's there's always a respect no matter what. I feel that respect should always be there, irrespective of if if it is in the same um category we are talking about, like in terms of age group or same day of initiation or whatever category we are putting it for a peer. Um, yeah, but I think the respect should always be there.
I agree, Mataji. Respect should always be there, but there could be people of way junior to us who are way advanced. I think this the purports here also said that this the rishi that they approached, he was way junior,
Yeah.
but they could offer their obeisances to him. If he or she is more advanced, and and yeah, you're very right. It is about who's a peer. We can never judge. We can never judge anybody, and also always we should start with respect. But we can also have a band of of who are we most comfortable with, who are we likely to, where the wavelengths seem to match. I think that's what.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
way of approaching it. And the best peers and the best people whose wavelength match, the best ones are the ones who will push you up. They have to be a little. They should be a little better than you, because then they will
Yeah.
then
I
they'll challenge
always
you.
feel that some of the wavelengths that are matched with me are like some seniors, that I clearly segregate them as seniors. And yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's true, Prabhu. What you're saying is true. The wavelength matching. Yeah. But yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know if anybody can have the similar thought or notion about the peer, or are you able to clearly say this is my peer or this is not my peer? I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, I can. So the thing is, I agree with you 200% on the fact that wavelengths can match, but you are clearly seeing that person as your senior. This has happened with me. It happens with me on a daily basis. It's safe to say that, right? Um, but at the same time, so the devotees whom I grew up with in bhakti, we were a group of like 10 devotees who would live together. I mean, we would be 40 devotees who would live together, but out of those, around 8, 10 were same year we got preached, same year we moved into, to live with devotees. So, but now, even within that group, there was one devotee who was actually younger than us by a year or two, but he was practicing since he was in 8th grade. And when we would discuss something together, and we would sit together for everything, like our Bhagavatam classes, we would have separate Bhagavatam classes for us, like that same batch, and we would discuss concepts and things like that. And then this devotee would like totally stand out. He had so much wisdom and everything, and he would sort of speak to us like that. A lot of humility, lot of wisdom, and amazing devotee. So yeah, so although he was in one sense a peer, but I still clearly see him as a senior. So, and although even in age, he was very young. So, yeah. Yes, Vishal Prabhu.
I feel like the other way around also works, Prabhu. Like you clearly see someone as a senior, but the way you'll talk and the way you'll behave, you also see him as a peer. Like for me, like I feel uh, like like clearly God Kumar Prabhu is like very senior to me, but like I don't think I ever hesitated to say anything to him. Like he would, I don't know, like the way he would ask me about like how the class went, and then like he's always asking me like like how did you like it and stuff like that. And even I had a lot of help in terms of like my life choices. So I feel like you all are talking about one scenario where like you all clearly grew up with the person, so he must be a peer, but then you see him as a senior. But I feel like the other scenario where you see somebody, you clearly know that somebody is a senior, but then like you'll have that kind of relationship where you can share some like with them, then they're also your peers, right? So like the other way around also works.
True. Yeah. It's very subjective, and ultimately it's up to the individual to decide, I guess. It's there is no formula to, you know, say that complex formula like a Schrodinger's equation, which will, the result of which will tell you whether somebody is a peer or this thing. Yeah.
Prabhu, I have a product idea. If somebody is a software engineer, I think we can do a match.com devotees
Yeah.
and ask them a whole bunch of survey questions
Mm,
and match people.
yes. Yeah, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. But jokes aside, there's always this discussion of friendships and all that reminds me of, I think it's Rupa Goswami, who talks about, offering, revealing one's mind.
Mm, mm.
inquiring confidentially, offering prasad, and those
Giving
types of things.
gifts, giving gifts and taking gifts.
Yeah, giving and taking gifts. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is, this is like, he has given us the right tools. It's just that, we are too proud to practice it. I
Mm.
feel, I'm at least too proud to practice it, or I have this false ego, which stops me from practicing these nice simple steps that he has given us.
Also, my take on this is, thank you for bringing this up, Krishnan Prabhu. So instead of thinking, okay, this person is my peer, this person is my senior, this person is my junior, and things like that, try to be equal to everyone, following these 6 principles that Krishnan Prabhu just mentioned. Even with a senior, you can reveal in confidence and hear in confidence. And you can give gifts, take gifts. You can give prasad, serve prasad and even honor prasad at their place. So it's possible. It's totally possible. Rather than just caught up in this hierarchy, just try to be equal with everyone. Is that possible, Jagannath Gopal Prabhu, or is it too hypothetical?
I don't know if equal is the correct word. Maybe respect to everyone.
I respect everyone. Yeah,
Because
respect everyone.
we may feel it they are equal, but
So
they may not feel.
don't feel that. My point is to both you and Vallabh Chaitanya Prabhu. If you keep on thinking that, oh, I have no peer, I have no peer, I have no peer, then that itself will become an issue. So I feel that you can just, even with your seniors and juniors, you can just take them as peers. And if they are not taking them, then find someone else. It's possible. Is that possible? I don't know.
No, definitely. I mean, we should do that. We should give respect to everybody regardless, and we should not get caught up in the hierarchy. But yeah, it's I don't know what can be a better word. Hierarchy is definitely not something we should be categorizing people. Hierarchy like senior, junior, peer. Hierarchy like, oh, this is a Madhyama Adhikari, that is an Uttama Adhikari, this is a Kanishta Adhikari. Although in theory we know that there are these distinctions, but
And the more you do start doing that, you will artificially start respecting the seniors. You'll start lording over the juniors, and you'll start being yourself with peers. So there itself, you see, you have 3 different forms of yourself, which I feel is when I look at someone like Maharaj or any senior devotee who I really look up to, I feel that they're same with everyone at the level of that person, like I've seen Radhanath Swami outside 26th Avenue. Somebody, a drunk lady, was walking, and then he went and spoke to her just like how he would talk to, let's say, Gaurang Prabhu or something, like with a lot of love and affection. So it's up to the person, I feel. How if Maharaj had said that, oh, this is a drunken lady, she's completely fallen, I'm not going to even go close to that person, because that is where the hierarchy comes, right?
correct.
So, but if you see the super soul in everyone's heart, ultimately, that is the whole goal. Then, as Kameshwar Prabhu also mentioned, everyone we should look. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavyastine, Sunichaiva Sabhakecha, Pandita Samadarshinaha. Ultimately, we have to get there. So let's not get caught up in these hierarchies, I feel.
Yeah. We should not get caught up for sure, but I see where the question is coming from. I see where the question is coming from, and I relate to it as well. So it's not hierarchy, but it's some sort of a comfort level that one looks for, even amongst Vaishnavas. So that definitely is there. But yeah, we should read up more on this and see how Prabhupada approaches this or whatever. But I agree that in general we should be equally respectable towards everybody.
Vallabh Chaitanya Prabhu, you want to add anything?
Yeah, please, Prabhu, you asked the question. You should share definitely.
I'm thinking, bro. I genuinely asked it that, for example, then how we understand that 60% of peers, and are we disregarding that also?
No. See, that I never agreed, and I never will agree. This is 60% peers. You must take association, 20% juniors to 20% seniors. But different people have different circumstances, right? Somebody may not get
That is true. Like
Uh,
if we can be say it's if someone is in different place where there are no devotees also, what to speak of senior, junior, or peers.
Yeah.
That is a different case. I'm just asking in general that for the discussion that we were having in terms of how get say Jagannath Gopal Prabhu mentioned very nicely that how he can get a feedback from someone, and it won't be a question of did I make an offense, or should I ask them that, did you feel bad or something, because then some um, wavelength might match. Of course, that will match when with senior or junior also, depending on
See, that's the thing, right?
if the investment
Yeah,
is there.
sorry to cut. So just one point here. So whether it's a senior or junior or whoever, you should still be able to ask, like, get feedback and take it properly in the right way. So that's my point. I don't know if one is.
But I it's very subtle, bro. That is very tricky.
s-
Externally, we
uh,
can say that and we can try to do it, but it's very subtle and it's not conveyed that often. Then I feel it's more felt than said.
yeah. Correct. Agreed. It's very subtle. Yeah, maybe I'm talking about like a pure devotee platform where someone is genuinely humble and
You are speaking like yourself, so
no.
we
I'm
cannot.
just I'm just saying that for such a person, then it's possible. Even that verse that I said, the Bhagavad Gita verse, also it's a Pandita, some other.
Also, I was saying that as you mentioned Gaurang Prabhu, recently, as you said that because I think Maharaj has invested so much. So recently I saw that Giriraj Maharaj and Maharaj were there for flower festival, right? I think you posted in the group also that lecture video. So in that, so first Giriraj Maharaj speaks with them holding a mic. Then Gaurang Prabhu introduces Radhanath Swami Maharaj and then hands him over the mic. So Maharaj just looks away because he doesn't want to hold the mic. He want a proper stand and a mic. So he doesn't tell him to, bring that. He just looks away and wait for the mic to come. And then someone gets it in. So I feel, of course, that is because that number of years have been invested. And if we hear Gaurang Prabhu saying that how he used to get chastised and randomly while Maharaj was speaking at the back, they were just enjoying prasad and not paying. So that nature is also there, depending person to person. So that I get. But I think Jagannath Gopal was related with me on this one. I definitely see that. But of course, that is not ideal. For our situation, I feel what everyone said, Krishnan Prabhu, Nitya Mataji, and you, we should try to do that as much as we can.
I think, Prabhu, I didn't see that video completely, but I saw a little bit. I did notice that, Giriraj Maharaj spoke first. So what I got out of it, even I noticed that immediately. What I got out of it is, seniority is important, protocol is important. So I think whenever possible, we should follow that seniority and protocol and all that. That is absolutely mandatory. But after that, friendship also has a place. So maybe there is, but you can't do this in all public forums. In public forums, everything has to follow protocol. Maybe I misunderstood what you were saying, but I thought it was nicely done. Even the order in which it went.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, it was I'm just saying about the interaction, that the kind of relationship they share, both of them. So
Yes,
in that sense, I'm saying, bro.
it's almost like a father-son relationship.
Right.
Okay, So it's yeah, I mean, lot of sort of differing thoughts, but the principles are always same here. I think everybody is firm on the principles here of the concepts that we are talking about. Just that the way we practically perceive them, the way we practically manifest them might be different. But yeah.
I just want to end on a good note, Prabhu.
Yes.
I think we should all congratulate Soham Prabhu because he has moved into Bhakti Center now.
Oh, Jai.
He's staying at Bhakti Center. So very, very happy. And I know it's not easy to stay in the temple, but Prabhuji, by some divine arrangement, it happened that he's now staying in the temple. So we have Samaksh Prabhu staying in the temple, Soham Prabhu staying in the temple. And yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. I haven't moved, Prabhu. I'll be like moving in a week from now.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, very soon.
Yeah.
A week.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Amazing. Okay, dear devotees. So thank you very much. This was such a beautiful discussion, very heart touching for me personally. And yeah, we'll definitely take a lot of beautiful impressions from this discussion today. So we'll continue with the next chapter, which is the birth of Vṛtrāsura.